one of my viewers recently had asked about the carnivore diet. They said they were trying the diet out, but how do you get full? Like, how do you eat until you're full? And I don't know how many of you guys are doing the carnivore diet or are interested in it, but I had mentioned that I'm doing this way of eat. I don't even call it a diet. I just call it a way of eating for me now. And it's where you only eat fatty meats and you stay away from seasonings and vegetables and fruits and any types of sugars, breads, refined flour, any of that stuff. Carbs, you cut carbs out of your life. And you try to eat just fatty meats. Bacon, butter is acceptable on there. Cheese to a certain amount. You don't want to go too high with cheese because you can spike your insulin. And the thing is to stay in what's called ketosis, right? So you're constantly burning and you're feeding your mind with the fuel that it needs, the cholesterol that it needs and everything. Well, anyway, so I won't get into the scientific stuff about it. I don't have the rights to really do that. I don't have any certificates to say, hey, I can tell you exactly what it medically does for you. But I can actually speak through experience. I mean, I took on physical fitness when I was 17 years old in high school and started working out in we had a weight training room, and I really, really loved it. And so when I got into physical fitness, I also wanted to eat right for somebody that is doing like bodybuilding. And so I read so many magazines back then, articles about different diets. I tried so many different things. You name it, I tried it. And it wasn't until about 3 years ago now that I realized that this bodybuilding diet that I had been doing, basically saying eat very lean meats, very, very lean meat, and keep your carbs low and keep your fat low, your fat intake. Get plenty of fiber, eat the right types of carbs, but not carbs that spike your insulin too much, So I had been following this kind of eating plan for a long time and been big into fitness, just to find out when I turned 40 years old that when I got my blood work done, I was low testosterone, low thyroid, and those are important hormones, and mine were low, and low like DHEA and all that. So anyway, so I had to get I got put on replacement therapy. You put this gel stuff on your shoulders to raise your testosterone levels. This testosterone gel, I guess they call it TRT. And then I got a prescription for thyroid. And today, I believe that I wouldn't have had those problems if I didn't start a bodybuilding diet. Because what a bodybuilding diet said was, don't eat fatty meats. Don't eat fatty meats. And today, starting about 3 years ago now, I've been doing carnivore. Now, I will tell you, the first year that I did carnivore, I did it wrong. I didn't look too much into it. I had a friend that I hadn't seen for about a year. I see this guy, and he went from, he's like 6'1", 6'1.5". He went from 400 plus pounds all the way to 225. And I was like, dude, what happened to you? And he says, oh man, you should check out my website I made. I've been promoting this thing. And he was a naturopath doctor. That's what he did for a living. And he said he cured himself of all these different things he had through eating carnivore diet. He quit his diabetic medications, and all these other medications. He got off of pretty much all medications that he was on before. His testosterone, he said, used to be low. It went up. His thyroid was low. It went up. So he was doing carnivore right because he studied it for a while. So I just asked him, what's the carnivore diet? And he told me, you just want to eat fatty meats and stay away from sugar and carbs, and so when he said eat, and I'm like, eat fat? And he said, yeah. So my brain thought, well, that must include, eating a jar of peanut butter if I want to, small jars of peanut butter. I didn't eat a whole one, but I'd eat spoonfuls of it. And so I for a year, I was eating fatty meat, but still not fat enough. And I was drinking lots of Diet Cokes, and I was eating lots of peanut butter and peanuts and almonds, lots of seed oils. And I didn't know I should stay away from seed oils. Well, anyway, so I have taken this thing, I altered it, I tuned into the way I should be eating with it, and I'll just give you a for instance of my diet. And this will also answer, how do you stay satiated? Because eating as a bodybuilder would eat, I used to eat about 6 meals a day. Smaller portions, you would call them, but you still wanted plenty of protein and all that, but it had to be lean. And I drank protein shakes and all that junk. I don't touch that stuff anymore. So what I do is, in the morning, I'll have, as of right now, sometimes I shift it and change it up a little bit, but this is how I'm eating right now. And this is how I stay satiated. The trick to staying satiated is to eat plenty of fat. You want to keep your fat about 75% of your intake, and you want to have about the other 25% be your protein. So where I used to be high protein, low fat, now I'm eating high fat, low protein. And what you do is when like, for instance, if you're eating a steak or something, a fatty piece of meat, and it stops tasting good, well, then you stop eating it, wrap up the rest, what you have left over, eat all of the fat that was on it while you're eating it. And what happens is it stops tasting good after a while. So you eat fatty meat until it stops tasting good. Now, in the morning, because I work out in the mornings, and I myself like to have a little something in my stomach before I work out. So in the morning, what I do is, and one of the things I do that a lot of people that do the carnivore diet don't do is they don't drink coffee. I stopped coffee for a while, but I like the taste of it, and I only drink it black. Maybe once in a while for a treat, I'll put a little heavy creamer in it, not flavored creamer, just straight up heavy cream. And I might pour a little bit of that in there. But I never was much one for dairy, it kind of messes my stomach up. So that's just once in a while. So, but if I have a cup of coffee in the morning, I drink it black. I put about 20 grams of proteins worth of powdered collagen. I get powdered collagen. I think they call it hydrolyzed collagen. Maybe I might have said that wrong, but it's collagen peptides. And I get collagen, it just plain, no flavoring or anything, because I work out a lot and I put a lot of stress on my tendons and everything. So I like to have a little extra collagen boost in my diet, which I'm getting plenty from the meat I'm eating, the fatty meats, but I'm just adding a little collagen. I'm not saying you should do this, but this is what I do. I'm just going to give you an example of how I eat. So I do some collagen powder, about 20 grams worth of protein. I put it in the coffee when it's hot, and I mix it up, and I just drink my coffee black. I like the taste of it like that. My taste buds have changed since I've been doing carnivore. Flavor is so much more enhanced now. And the only seasoning I use Redmond's sea salt. And then there's these other salt flakes. I think it's called Malden or something. It's a green box. You can find it on Amazon, just like I get Redmond's sea salt off of Amazon, and it's a nice fine powdery sea salt. It's amazing. So that's how I season my meats. And so anyway, back to my morning. So I wake up early in the morning. I have a cup of black coffee with collagen in it, and then I have and then sometimes I'll have maybe a cup and a half of coffee. A lot of people on Carnivore don't drink coffee because technically it comes from a bean, which is kind of plant, but you know, we all have our vices. So I like a little coffee, not for the caffeine boost. I mean, I feel energetic enough. I just like the taste of it, and I like to drink something hot in the morning. Sometimes I just drink hot water too. I'll just have a cup of hot water, which I love it. I love heating up water in a stove. I don't use a microwave. I don't like microwaves for me. I think it even messes up with the water. So I boil some water on the stove, and then I drink just a hot cup of water, especially at night. That's nice with dinner. So anyway, morning time, coffee with collagen, 20 grams of protein. I eat 4 whole eggs, large eggs. I could eat more than that, but I don't really need a bunch of food in my stomach before a workout. So I eat 4 whole eggs. I get extra, and I eat the yolks. I get extra protein from the collagen peptides, but then I add extra fat into my diet. So I'll have a couple pieces of bacon. I'm not a pork fan myself. I'm not into it. I don't know why. I just don't. I don't know. I think that movie Babe I saw years ago changed me about wanting to eat pork. But I'm better with red meat, and once in a great while chicken, once in a great while some fish like salmon or something like that. But I don't really crave fish like I used to. So, because I used to like fish with a salad. Well, I don't eat salads anymore. So, you know, plain fish, I'll do it once in a while, but not very often. And chicken is very, very occasional. I don't crave it much anymore. So in the morning, I have a couple pieces of bacon, 2 slices of bacon, and I cook the bacon first. And then when I take it out of the skillet, I throw my eggs inside the bacon grease, and I cook them that way. And I might do eggs sunny side up, or I might do them scrambled. And there's one other thing I do to there's a membrane in the eggshell. I peel those out of the eggshell, and I cook those with my eggs because I think there's a lot of good stuff in that thing. It's like peeling a piece of meat off of the inner part of the eggshell. And I developed a technique. Maybe someday I'll film myself doing it here on YouTube so you guys can get a demonstration of it. And it adds nutrients, I'm sure. Maybe you could look up what the membrane of an eggshell looks like, or what kind of nutrients are in there. I've been meaning to do it, but something in my gut tells me I should be eating it. So I do. So I have 4 eggs in the morning, 2 slices of bacon, with that, and a cup of coffee, black coffee with collagen peptides, 20 grams worth of protein peptides. And so then after my workout, I'll eat 2 quarter pounds, so about a half pound. So I eat about a half pound of hamburgers. I make two hamburger patties, about a quarter pound each, and I put some cheddar cheese on there. I found white cheddar. Once in a while, if I can't find white cheddar, I'll get the stuff that's orange, but I don't really like the dyes that they put in cheese. I don't want to eat that stuff because I'm away from artificial everything. But anyway, you know, you do what you do what you can once in a while. So I put some cheese on those hamburgers. I grill them both sides on my stovetop, and then I put the cheese on when both sides of the meat are pretty done. I like mine about, you know, cooked medium, really. I like hamburger on the more well done side. I've been kind of liking my steaks that way lately too, for some reason. I don't really like the medium rare anymore. So anyway, well, because I'm eating fatty meat. So, you know, back when I ate lean meat, it was easier to chew and it was more medium rare. So I have two beef patties, 75% fat, ground beef is what I get. And if I can't find that, I'll get what's 81, I think 81% they have. So whatever, you know, sometimes the 75%'s gone, and it's still enough fat for me if it's 81. And then at night, when I get home from work, I cook a steak, and my go-to is usually either tri-tip, or if I can get ribeye on sale. Sometimes I can find ribeyes on sale for $8.99 a pound, but sometimes tri-tip and I just get slabs of it and cut my own. And tri-tip, it has a lot of fat in it, so sometimes they have that for $4.99 a pound on sale here, but usually it's about $7.99, $6.99 is what I usually see it at, $7.99 a pound, because meat's gone up so much. But you know, it's not like I eat a lot of meat. Honestly, I probably eat the same amount of meat I did when I was doing my bodybuilding diet, actually probably even less. But what I am doing now, which I didn't do back then, is I'm eating fatty meat. So I'm eating, I used to throw all the fat away. You know, now I eat all the fat. If I were to eat chicken, for instance, I'd probably not eat chicken breast unless I bought a whole chicken. I'd eat it, but I like the dark meat, and then you want to eat all the skin. Once again, you don't want to cook anything in vegetable oils, any type of seed oils, sunflower, safflower, that type of thing. If you need any type of cooking oil, you can always get ghee. It's spelled Ghee. Cook with it. Don't put it on your body and leave it on your body all day. I did that trick before and it made me smell terrible, I found out. So don't do that, but just cook with it if you need to, or cook with butter too. And I put butter on my steaks, so I'll cook them. I've been using a cast iron skillet lately instead of the grill outside. And when I cook it on both sides, I'll put butter on top of there, and just to add some flavor and a little extra fat. And then I already season it with salt, Redmond sea salt, before I cook the steak. But then afterward, I'll take those, I think they're called Malton or Malden, I can't remember how it's spelled, something like that, and it's in a green box. And you just grab these salt flakes and you just top it off, and it makes it taste really good. And I'm not afraid of using salt one bit. I drink about a gallon of water a day. If I have anything else, like, man, if I get bored with just water and just black coffee, what do? I drink either unflavored mineral water or unflavored seltzer water. You know, it kind of gives you that bubbly feel on your tongue, and you know, carbonation, and but it doesn't have flavor. It's just water, but I enjoy that, you know. So my favorite mineral water is probably Topo Chico, and I like it cold and unflavored. Topo Chico, that's a brand that I use. So, you know, find your own. But anyway, I don't eat until my stomach's full. You don't need to eat until your stomach's full anymore. You eat until you are satiated, meaning you are satisfied. It doesn't taste good anymore. You don't need to continue eating. You're just satisfied. So I don't need to walk around with a full stomach anymore. It's not about being full anymore. It's about being satisfied. And this carnivore thing has worked so well on me, you guys. My brain functions better. My hair seems to be getting thicker. Something changed with my skin where I don't burn in the sun like I used to. So for some reason, it's like the Cherokee in me is finally popping out, you know. And I'm just getting, people think I look tan all the time. I'm not afraid of the sun. You know, if I stay 6 hours in the sun, yeah, I'll probably get burned. But it used to be just like get a little bit too much sun and I'd burn. But that's changed. Something about the way I'm eating now. A lot of things have changed. It all started with, by the way, when I quit drinking alcohol, which was over 3 years ago. But the desire left me, and I felt like it was a great gift to me. You know, I desired not to drink anymore. I didn't know how you stop something like that, especially when everybody around you drinks. And well, anyway, the desire's gone now, and I'm grateful for that. So that's been over 3 years with that, and I think that led me to going to the next step in life, which was doing this carnivore thing. And I totally feel like it's spirit-led for me. I feel like it's just the right, and even sickness and all that, it seems like those things are things of that's something of the past for me anyway. So thank you for that. You know, so thankful, so grateful. Anyway, so I just wanted to answer, and maybe this helps answer some of your questions too, if you're doing the carnivore, and find, you know, do what works for you, right? But that's kind of just a demonstration of what works for me health wise. Your gut never functions as well as it does when you're on carnivore. If you eat you're not going to absorb the fat and become fat by eating too much fat. What happens is The fat is what, instead of fiber, look it up, you guys, fiber versus fat. If you ever want to follow a doctor, I highly recommend Dr. Anthony Chafee, the plant-free MD, here on YouTube. Dr. Robert Kiltz, he's another good one. Dr. Sean Baker, he's pretty well known. Dr. I think it's Anthony Berry, very good. Those are my go-to guys. Is it, or not Dr. Anthony, Ken Berry, I think it's Ken Berry, Anthony Chafee, Ken Berry. So these are some good doctors. Anthony Chafee, I probably watch his stuff more than the others. I've gotten really educated on things and found out how things work in your stomach when you compare fiber worth versus fat. And fat all the way, you guys. It's so much better for you. And if you ever suffered with gas becomes a thing of your past. You put it in the past, unless you're eating a whole bunch of dairy, you know, too much dairy. Once in a while, for a treat, I have a half a glass of whole fat milk. That's for once in a great while as a treat. Once in a great while as a treat, I might get whole fat Greek yogurt, plain, and that's just a treat. Your taste buds change, so drinking milk tastes like you're drinking ice cream. And that yogurt that you think would taste disgusting because it's so sour, and you're doing plain Greek yogurt and high fat, it actually tastes creamy, and your taste buds change through this thing. Mine did anyway. So those things taste good now. Once in a great while, I also make what is called a Parmesan crisp as a treat. So what I do is I get shredded Parmesan, not the powdery stuff, but shredded. I heat up a nonstick skillet and I let it get nice and hot. And then I put, you know, I put a little round, you know, size of Parmesan flakes into the pan. You can look up how to do Parmesan crisps, but I don't oil the pan because the cheese itself acts like an oil. So you don't need to grease the pan. And if you have a good nonstick pan, it works. And then I cook it on one side until it gets kind of almost like where now it looks like it might start to burn, but it's not, you know. And then I flip it over, cook the other side, and then I let it cool off. And oh man, a Parmesan crisp, that thing tastes great, you know, and you want to eat it with some meat if you're going to eat something like that. But that's a nice treat once in a great while I give to myself. Another thing I might do once in a very, very great while is if you want to make chicken fun to eat, you know, you can get some chicken thighs and keep the skin on, like I said, and you can get pork rinds, okay, plain ones, plain pork rinds. And then what you do is you get like a food processor, which is like a blender, and it just does and blends the pork rinds up into a powder, and you can put those in a bowl, how much ever you want. And then you can get some milk in another bowl, and then you can put an egg in another bowl, you know, whip up the egg, scramble it. And what I did is I would dip the chicken thigh in the milk first, and then I dip it into the scrambled egg, and then I roll both sides through the flour that I made out of pork rinds, because pork rinds are just plain old pork fat skins, right? They call them pork skins. And it's a good substitute for me anyway, if you want to give yourself a crunchy, taste like fried chicken type of thing. You could probably do it with chicken legs too, but keep the skin on. And you roll it around in there, and then you bake them in the oven. I'd bake them at 425 for I don't know how many minutes, but you know, I just look at stuff until I see that it's done. But that's a nice treat once in a great while too. Just some secrets of mine that I do. But anyway, I feel healthier than ever. I'm 52 years old, 52 and a half now. Actually, probably even more than that. January, I'll be 53. So, and I'm healthier. I'm in better shape than I've ever been in my life. I'm leaner. I feel good. My health's amazing. And I work out regularly, and I love it. And anyway, I wish the best of health to you. I hope this video has encouraged somebody. If you have any questions that I haven't maybe answered, you know, you can always ask me in the comment section. And I'm sorry, I try to keep my answers as brief as possible because I'm always on the go and always busy. So very busy guy. So I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. And if you want me to make more videos like this, let me know. And I would be happy to do it because it's something I'm very passionate about. So this carnivore diet's amazing. That's what I do. It's working for me so far, and maybe I'll adjust it again just to trip it up a little bit. We'll see. But so far, it's working good, and my gut feels great. So, all right, I'm going to get going, you guys. I love you, and I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.